Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for February 26th through March 1st, 2021. Moving into a new month, moving into this year. It's been crazy, and haven't even had a chance to begin to unpack 2020 and recover from that year. So here we go, but big shift coming. Here we have this weekend, the Virgo Full Moon. This is a culmination energy of the last really 6 weeks of astrology, with all of these squares between Taurus and Aquarius. And the biggest one I feel like we've been feeling is Jupiter in square to Black Moon Lilith all month long. And so Jupiter in Aquarius of the greater conjunction, trying to bring the light, trying to expand into new possibilities. Black Moon Lilith in Taurus, representing the deepest, darkest, hidden places of the psyche that, with this square tension, those are the places that are keeping us from moving into the Aquarian Age. So it's really powerful for the supernova soul, because what we're looking at here with all this Black Moon Lilith, and the reason why this is so on the table right now, is that Mercury is now direct. Today, it moves off of the 11 degrees where it turned. It's been there for like a week, a little over a week, and now to 12 degrees. That's bringing it into a square with another square with Black Moon Lilith, and then Mercury will move into a conjunction with Jupiter at 17 degrees in the first week of March, next week. So this Mercury now direct, trying to move into new territory, trying to bring understanding, trying to bring the expansion, but this square with Black Moon Lilith, and then bam, powerful conjunction with Jupiter. As Mercury, a personal planet, Jupiter, a bigger planet, slower moving planet, come into council. What is going on here? What is happening? What are we trying to do here? Now, with Black Moon Lilith and Taurus and all these intense squares, we're looking at shame energies. Is a great word it's the word that best fits the Black Moon Lilith energies. But with the squares to Aquarius, it's about the technology, intuition, higher frequency vibration. Really interesting, because the Aquarian Age is Saturn moving into Aquarius is pointing to Atlantean time, and this shame programming starting then. And really, if we think about it, Atlantean time was the very last age. No wonder they had to bury that shit, right? The very last age on this earth where the feminine power was exalted, supported, celebrated, and valued. And it could be out in the open. What happened, and particularly really intensely in the Piscean Age, is this feminine, intuitive, healing power that we all have, but especially advanced souls, really working with these energies. You were probably here in Atlantean time, working with these energies. And now it's coming back to haunt you because you've been programmed with shame and fear around your intuitive power. And the feminine had to hide, had to become a snake, had to slither away into the dark corners. Now, this created a dark mother archetype, because the feminine power, which was literally being used for healing and electricity and, all of that stuff in Atlantean time. Really fun age for you scientists that were here working on that cutting edge, fully supported in these arts. But this is where the feminine, the masculine were still integrated. And then a long-term agenda took hold around separating our consciousness into duality, consciousness, masculine, feminine, two sides of the brain. So that was a very deliberate program. But before that, in Atlantean time, and this is where we've been programmed to think that it was this intuitive power that caused these catastrophes. And so to make sure that you as an advanced soul never go anywhere near your own power, it goes all the way back to Atlantean time. And then the feminine, the healing, had to go secret, had to go into hiding. The only place on the planet, and there's like deep traumas in the psyche of humanity over this, that the feminine power had to go into hiding. and it had to become dark and scary. Now, this is too much to get into right now, but there's a long held program in this whole planetary evolution around disconnection from source of our planet, the gifts, the freely given abundance of our earth. We're disconnected. Humanity in general doesn't feel safe and cared for. And this is the main problem. This is what this whole astrology is all about. This is what's keeping us from moving into the Aquarian Age, because the Aquarian Age is a golden age of abundance where we get free energy. We get these technologies that have been kept from us. We stop paying illegal taxes, and it's like the empowerment of the individual and this healing technology, right? But these are working with the freely given gifts of our earth, but have been hidden from us, these technologies. See, linking back to Atlantean time. Can we receive what's freely given? This is the Dark Mother. It's like, okay, well, I can trust love if it comes with abuse, punishment, rewards, retribution, games, manipulations. Then I can trust, because that's what I'm used to. This is what the mother archetype has become. We're going to withhold from you until you prove yourself worthy of the abundant gifts of this world. But the deal is that like our earth gives freely, regenerates herself again and again. The quintessential expression of free energy, of the feminine form of electricity, which is perpetual motion. And it's right here, and we're walking on her, we're living and breathing, and yet we cannot receive what's freely given. We have to work for it or prove it, it doesn't have value. So how are we going to move into free energy and jubilee and debt forgiveness? How are we going to do that? How can we move into this abundance, while we're stuck in this Dark Mother archetype? So this is what we're dealing with here. But today, I'm heading into this Virgo full moon energy. Virgo wants to clean up. And so on the heels of all these Black Moon Lilith and Mercury coming back into square with Black Moon Lilith, and it's like, okay, we got to get our hands dirty here. We have no choice. We got to get this cleaned up. And then Jupiter and Mercury, the enlightened council of solutions and hope, spirit, coming back. Because it's like we've all been calling for this divine intervention. And the picture I'm getting is like, where can that land if the fertile mother cannot receive? If the fertile mother has been dried up and distorted, right? Like the light of the divine father cannot rest without the mother healed and whole. And, so the feminine in all of us, and this is this Black Moon Lilith astrology. Okay, but then today, Venus is moving into Pisces. And so Venus likes Pisces way better than Aquarius, I feel like. And because it's watery, it's sensitive, it's emotional, there's a place for her to express. And Aquarius is rather dry and detached. And so she's feeling, and then Pisces is this exalted oneness consciousness, this spiritual high priestess energy, and the feminine coming back into her throne in the rightful place as this compassionate, caring mother, the true mother, right? We've all been disconnected, and then trying to get your spiritual needs met, supernova soul, from a human mother that's living in the Dark Mother archetype. Good luck. And then you came into these poison bloodlines trying to heal it all. And this is the core wound. We say the core wound is separation, but it's a separation from feeling loved and cared for here on this earth. And the new age, that's the paradigm. This is why we have so many of you supernova souls with all of your powerful gifts and skills and your light and your determination to work with these energies for healing, to move us into humanity, into this, in the direction of feeling cared for and loved. What if there was a place you could go instead of being like, where's your insurance? Who are you? What are you doing? Where's your category and what are your drugs? What if you walked in to an establishment that said care, and you actually got care? You actually got like loving care on all levels of your being, right? You are the ground team in these new structures. And that's what the Supernova Soul Tribe is all about. It's about networking, finding each other, figuring out our role as we build these new paradigm structures. But we cannot do any of it if we're going to base our reality on this dark mother distortion. So this Virgo full moon is the virgin, cleaning up and reflecting back on all of that Black Moon Lilith. Woo! And there's a great redemption here. And in fact, it's required for humanity to move any forward from where we're at. That's these squares. I'm scared to even count how many squares we've had between Aquarius and Taurus. So really powerful energy. And now Mercury's inching out of its retrograde shadow. So this weekend, it'll make it to 13 degrees. And then, like I said, next week coming into that powerful, because then it gets moving and comes bam into that conjunction with Jupiter at 17 degrees. And that is on the 5th of March. And the first week of March, incredibly explosive astrology in a completely different direction. So we'll see what that's about. Part of this has to do with the fact that the sun is coming into a square with the nodes at 15 degrees Gemini, halfway. And so it's interesting because the sun is halfway to the nodes conjunction, which is when the eclipses happen. So we're halfway between eclipse season. And we're also halfway between the North Node, South Node, Sagittarius, North Node, Gemini, because that's at 15, right? Right in the middle. So are we getting the message here? What is this North Node and Gemini, South Node, Sag about? And we don't know because we've been gridlocked in 4 months of Neptune square the nodes. So good luck thinking straight and figuring out reality. But big shift here too, because Mars on the 4th next week is moving into the sign of Gemini. And Mars, Gemini is a masculine sign. Mars, Gemini is a sign of leaders, of orators, of message, of inspirational message, leadership, powerful speaking truth, And so Mars, the warrior, likes that energy and is ready to rock and roll. And can we take back our voice? Is this, Mars and Gemini would be, take that freaking mask off, right? Like, just take it off. Just let's start using logic. And let's recognize, let's stop being hated by our generations to come. They're going to look back at us and be like, oh my God, you guys put those masks on and believed in all that garbage. Disconnected. You allowed yourselves to be separated and social distance. You allowed yourself to believe that that's health. You allowed, how close do we need to get to total technological tyranny, right? Now that's the dark side of the Aquarian energy. This is why this age is going to be so exalted, because we can't go forward with these technological things being kept secret. Humanity has got to receive the technology that's available. And that's why it's a golden age, because once we have it available to us, it can't be used against us to control us anymore. So we need whole new structures that are going to protect humanity. Information, sacred, our sacred basic rights. We've just given them over with no questions. And how hated are you going to be by the generations to come, by your grandchildren and their grandchildren? And they look back at your role in history, not you guys, but, in general. I want to say this to the masses, anyway, so a little rant there. So now we still have Saturn in square to Uranus, which is really the backdrop of what's going on and the whole story behind the scenes. And this is the old guard of Saturn, but in Aquarius, very confused about this unstable footing, and Uranus and Taurus shaking up our physical reality, shaking up all of our fixed notions, all of that programming of shame, shaking it up. And it's the old versus the new. And in square, it's tension, and everything that's keeping us from moving forward. And so it points right back to those issues of, do you deserve? Can you accept what's freely given? Or do you need to pay a price for it? And it's like these, relationship games, let's say, in the dating games that happen. It's like, if you show too much interest, then you're not valuable, how disastrous to true soulmate connections. It's like it's designed to sabotage like our whole freaking world. So how do we turn the tables on this, right? Because we know it can't go on and it's full of falsity and that house of cards has got to fall. And where do we go to escape the rubble of this explosion that we're due? Because it's like the longer we wait, the bigger this avalanche of truth that needs to come out for humanity. It's going to be massive, you know, and it's imminent. I think within the next couple of months, some massive truths. And so here we are, Mercury coming direct and coming into square with Black Moon Lilith, conjunct with Jupiter. The council is ready to get serious. The Congress is coming together to get serious about taking back our human rights. And so very powerful energies. And I hope you can join me for today, just a little while here, a couple hours for the Virgo full moon activation. And it is encoded. So if you don't make it live, you can catch the replay. The replay is available at the same link as sign up directly after the event. But there's a powerful energy here for this Virgo full moon activation around this redemption and rebirth of the feminine, a complete release of the shame. It's like the shame we feel inside, all of our self-hatred really goes back to this demonization of the feminine and the dark mother archetype that came from trauma programming, separating us from our mother, you know. And so this Virgo full moon are you ready to be redeemed? Because this shift we're in right now, it's like supernova soul cannot take that shame with you. And what if abundance, all these blessings you've been waiting and asking for so long are about to flood into your life, but can you receive what's freely given? Or will you reject it? You know? And there's so many souls on the planet right now being like, I want this. Why can't it come? Why can't it come? Why can't it come? But then if it walked right in front of you, you would run from it. And this is all this false sense of self, this false personality ego construct based in fear and trauma programming, you know, that says you're not cared for, you're not enough. You have to go out there and try to manipulate to get what you need. Oh my God. And here we are, humans directly connected to source, realizing now we are at the top of the totem pole. As souls connected to a body, we got everything everybody wants right inside of you. And everything that fuels and creates the whole world. And here you've been thinking that you had no value in this world. And you're everything. Can you receive that? You know? And so we're up against the wall with this one, but it's coming into the light and we're facing reality. And that's the sun's coming into square with the nodes. It's a identity crisis. And the dark mother, disconnected, uncared for, abandoned victim needs to stand the fuck up and pull up your bootstraps and be that God light within you. Like, put it all down. How much have you been carrying, you know, making everything your problem, carrying this darkness? I know we're all just like, we're in that wilderness place. And what we're doing is going through these painful places where we're connected to these dark personality constructs from fear and trauma from past lives. And we're separating, we're lifting up our identity, our soul from those false stories so that the light can come into those places. And it's excruciating, but that's because you're the chosen ones. You know, you've been chosen for this. You didn't choose to stay asleep. You chose to come and be awake and come experience mass transfiguration into the light body. And so we got to clean up all that garbage, and here we are. So I hope to see you here in a couple hours at that Virgo full moon activation. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting, knowing that remember the Wednesday updates, Supernova Soul weekly updates are available at the Supernova Soul Tribe. It's $10 a month. That gets you live question and answer, discounts to events. There's exclusive content. And also so the Wednesday updates. So I look forward to seeing you soon, hopefully on that live activation or the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.